On this channel, we uncover the darkest corners of human nature, where ordinary people and internet fame collide with unthinkable crimes. If you're fascinated by the shadows behind the spotlight, you've found the right place. Welcome to Bone Chilling. She wasn't a celebrity with millions of followers. She wasn't a household name, but she had something powerful: influence. Diana Lovejoy, a San Diego fitness coach and YouTuber, appeared on screen as the picture of positivity, guiding others through health routines, inspiring people to push through pain, and selling the dream of discipline and self-improvement. But while she told her viewers to push harder, stay strong, and never give up, off-camera Diana herself was collapsing. Her marriage was falling apart, her career was slipping, and her bitterness turned into something so dangerous it would end in bullets, blood, and a prison sentence. In this series, we're peeling back the curtain on Diana Lovejoy's shocking double life. How did a YouTube fitness channel, a platform built on hope and wellness, become tied to a murder-for-hire plot? We'll look at who Diana was, the rise of her online persona, and the bitter battles that pushed her into the darkest decision of her life. We'll dive into the crime itself, the ambush, the evidence, and the jaw-dropping courtroom collapse that made headlines worldwide. To the outside world, Diana Lovejoy lived a comfortable life. Born in 1972, she carved a career as a tech professional before shifting gears into fitness. She launched her YouTube channel, blending workout tutorials with motivational advice. Her videos had a loyal following, not millions, but enough to give her credibility as a fitness personality. She branded herself as a woman who had conquered struggles and was ready to help others do the same. Her online presence, bright smiles, toned muscles, encouraging words. Her real life, a crumbling marriage, infertility struggles, and a storm of resentment building behind closed doors. Diana married Greg Mulvihill in 2007. At first, it seemed like a dream. But years later, that dream soured. Friends would later testify about fights, trust issues, and financial stress. The real breaking point? Custody of their young son. Diana wanted full control, Greg wanted shared custody, and so began a brutal divorce battle, stretching across years, filled with accusations. Diana accused Greg of abuse. Greg claimed Diana was manipulative. Each side dragged the other through the mud, and the fight over their child only grew nastier. By 2014, the marriage was officially over. But Diana's bitterness wasn't. Instead of finding peace in her YouTube career and moving on, she grew obsessed with Greg. Some friends said she felt he was ruining her life. Others said she painted herself as the victim in every conversation. And when anger festers long enough, sometimes it needs an outlet. So what was Diana's motive? Why risk everything? Her career, her freedom, her son, for revenge? Some say it was about money. Greg had pushed for financial fairness in their settlement, and Diana feared losing assets. Others say it was about control. Diana wanted her son all to herself. Still others believe it was deeper, rooted in years of resentment, infertility struggles, and the collapse of her public image. Imagine this. Online, she was telling viewers to find strength in your darkest hour. Offline, she was drowning in her own. But Diana didn't just stew in anger, she took action. And that action started with someone unexpected, her firearms instructor, Weldon McDavid. At first it seemed innocent. She signed up for shooting lessons, telling friends she wanted to protect herself from Greg. But over time, the conversations shifted. She began painting Greg as a monster. She started asking questions, not about self-defense, but about eliminating a threat. And when you ask the wrong person the wrong questions, you may get an answer you weren't ready for. Diana's bitterness had transformed into a deadly plan. The YouTube fitness coach who once promised motivation was now preparing for murder. But how does a plan like this actually unfold? And how close did Greg come to losing his life that night in 2016? On a September night in 2016, that action turned into a bullet, a body, and a shocking betrayal. Diana reached out to her firearms instructor, Weldon McDavid. She claimed Greg, her ex-husband, was dangerous, that he might hurt her, that she needed protection. Weldon believed her. But Diana's story shifted. Soon, it wasn't about defense. It was about eliminating Greg.
Police would later testify that Diana manipulated Weldon into believing he was saving her and her son from a violent man. And on the night of September 1st, 2016, the trap was set. Greg received a phone call from Diana. She told him an investigator had evidence that would clear his name in their custody battle, but only if he came alone to a quiet cul-de-sac late at night. Greg, suspicious but desperate to protect his son, agreed. He drove to the location, a street lined with trees, no one in sight. What he didn't know was that Weldon McDavid was waiting in the shadows, armed with a rifle.
Hello, this is 911.
Yeah. My friend has just been shot.
Do you know who shot him?
There's a guy lying down like a sniper.
A sniper? Did you see him at all?
Briefly, we saw the gun, and he shot at us like 6 or 7 times.
As Greg stepped out of his car, a bullet tore through the night, striking him in the torso. He collapsed, pain flooding his body. But here's where the plan fell apart. Greg survived, bleeding, terrified but alive. He dialed 911. Police arrived quickly. They found Greg barely clinging to life. He told them, "It was Diana. She set me up." Investigators didn't need long to connect the dots. Phone records showed Diana lured Greg to the scene. Evidence linked Weldon to the shooting. The so-called self-defense instructor had become her weapon of choice. But when Weldon was questioned, his story cracked. He admitted Diana had convinced him Greg was a monster, that he believed he was doing the right thing, and yet the truth was undeniable. This was a murder-for-hire plot orchestrated by Diana herself. The trial of Diana Lovejoy and Weldon McDavid began in 2017. The courtroom was packed, the press eager, and what followed was a spectacle few will forget. Prosecutors painted Diana as a manipulative woman who used her charm, her YouTube persona, and her lies to convince Weldon to kill. Her defense? That she had no idea he would actually shoot Greg, that it was all Weldon's idea. But then came the climax. The jury returned with a guilty verdict, attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Diana Lovejoy's sentence, 26 years to life in prison. And in that very moment, as the verdict was read, Diana collapsed. She fainted in front of the judge, the jury, the cameras. The YouTuber who once smiled on screen now lay unconscious on the courtroom floor, her life and career shattered. Diana Lovejoy built her YouTube channel on discipline, motivation, and strength, but in the end, she chose weakness, she chose obsession, and she chose a plan so reckless it nearly cost a man his life, and it did cost her freedom. Her story is a reminder. Sometimes the people smiling at you from behind the camera aren't what they seem. Sometimes the shadows run deeper than the spotlight can reach. This is bone-chilling. Would you have seen the warning signs in Diana Lovejoy's story? Or do you believe she was simply consumed by anger she couldn't control? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories of YouTubers hiding deadly secrets, make sure to subscribe, because the darkest tales are only just beginning.